Today, we are diving deep into the pricing strategies of 5 AI coding platforms that are reshaping the tech landscape at breakneck speed. Welcome to the ultimate pricing showdown, where we'll dissect how Replit, Cursor, Windsurf, Lovable, and Bolt are positioning themselves in a market that's growing so fast, traditional metrics can barely keep up. But first, let's understand just how explosive this growth has been. Replit, the education pioneer turned AI powerhouse. Let's start with Replit, the veteran of our group. Founded in 2016, Replit has transformed from an educational coding platform into an AI development juggernaut. According to their CEO, Replit skyrocketed from just 10 million in ARR in the end of 24 to 100 million in ARR by June 2025, a 10x growth in under 6 months. With 22.5 million users and backing from heavyweights like Andreessen Horowitz and Khosla Ventures. Cursor, the speed demon. But if Replit's growth is impressive, Cursor's trajectory is simply mind-boggling. This MIT-born startup has achieved what many consider impossible, becoming the fastest SaaS company ever to reach 100 million in ARR, accomplishing this feat with over 500 million in ARR and more than 360,000 paying customers out of their total 1 million user pool. Cursor has captured the hearts and wallets of developers worldwide. Windsurf, the enterprise challenger, formerly known as Codium. While not matching Cursor's astronomical growth, Windsurf has carved out its own impressive path. In May 2025, OpenAI acquired Windsurf for approximately $3 billion, making OpenAI's largest acquisition to date. Before the acquisition, Windsurf has reached 40 million in ARR. Lovable, Europe's rising star. From Stockholm comes Lovable, proving that Silicon Valley doesn't have a monopoly on AI innovation. This Swedish startup has achieved what many call the fastest growth in European startup history. Launching their first product in late 2024, they hit 50 million ARR in just 6 months. With 25,000 new apps being built daily on their platform and 30,000 paying customers, Lovable is making Vive coding more than a buzzword. And finally, Bolt, the pivot success story. It's perhaps the most dramatic success story of them all. Parent company Stack Blitz was reportedly on the brink of running out of cash just 5 months before Bolt's new launch. Today, they've raised 105 million at 700 million valuation, with ARR skyrocketing to 20 million just within 2 months of launch and reportedly now approaching 40 million. Attracting nearly 1 billion users per month, the stage is set. 5 companies, 5 different pricing strategies, billions in combined valuation. But which one has really truly cracked the code on pricing? Let's take a look. Alright, let's get started. This is the pricing showdown. Bolt, Cursor, Lovable, Windsurf, Replit. Before I get started, I want to talk about what I'm going to look at. I will go through all of these companies' pricing pages and I will look at pricing strategy from 3 specific lenses. How well are they packaging their product? How well selected is their pricing metric? And how well selected is the price point? So when in packaging, I want to see, do the packages cater for the full spread of customer segmentation? You really want the packages to be a good glove fit with the customer segments. You don't want to randomly create packages without an understanding of the market and without really serving the customers. Let's say you create an enterprise plan, but you do not understand what enterprises need in terms of workflow capabilities or security capabilities. You can call it enterprise, but it won't be a real enterprise plan. Or you may miss adding the enterprise plan altogether, and then you'll be leaving tons of money on the table and won't even know it. Similarly, many companies may create plans that are too similar to each other, which cannibalize each other. So these are the things I'm going to be looking at. Then I'm going to look at the pricing metric. Is the pricing metric aligned to the customer's success? If the company is choosing a per token model or a per credit model, I want to see that it is simplified for customers, because generally customers do not know what a credit or a token means. They know what work they have to do, and do these companies translate that? Is there going to be confusion? Are there going to be multiple metrics to keep track of? And are there overage paths present? Are you making clear what happens once you go over the amount of volume that you have bought? Can you buy more, or are you forced to buy the next plan? And then finally, price points. I want to see a good spread of price points. If the price points are too close, cannibalization is an issue. If the price points are not high enough, you're leaving money on the table. If you have a freemium plan but you're giving too much away, then you are again kneecapping yourself. So how confusing is this? How well designed it is? I'm going to look at all three attributes, and then I will rate these 5 companies in this grid. I'm going to give them a rating on packaging, pricing metric, and price point, and then I'm going to average it out and find the company that I feel does the best in pricing strategy. Now, when I say best in pricing strategy, I do not mean that it is best for consumers. I mean that the pricing strategy is the most clearly laid out with the right set of incentives to make the company successful. All right, so let's get started. All right, let's start with Lovable. I'm on Lovable's pricing page and I can see 3 main plans. One is this free plan, right? It says up to 20 collaborators. The other one is this pro plan where you get some amount of credits, private projects, you can remove the Lovable badge, custom domains, role-based access, good. And then enterprise where you get dedicated support, custom integrations, SSO, and opt out of data training. All right. Right off the bat, I like that it is clean. I like that the pricing is so clean that it is easy. It's going to be easy for Lovable to manage, and it's going to be easy for people to understand what they get. When they read 250 credits per month, they're going to understand what it means. So let's see what they mean by credits. Okay, so they mean 100 credits per month plus 5 daily credits that reset each day. They're trying to rate limit even the credits, but let's see what you get in a credit. A credit is 1 credit per message. So it's 1 credit per message sent in Lovable. Or you can have agent mode that allows you to get usage-based pricing. A simple message that reads 1 file and edit 1 file will cost 0.8 credits. On other hand, a message that leads to 5 file reads and 4 file edits and 1 image generation will cost 2.4 credits. So I like the fact that they have given examples of these credits, and I like the fact that they explain it in very clear terms. But given that I am new to software development and I am new to app development, I still do not know what they mean by sending messages. Now perhaps this is the same at other products as well, so we'll have to see what the other products are saying. But as a complete noob, I don't really still know what a message is. All right. That being said, I think they are doing a good job in clarity, but I definitely think they're leaving money on the table because I feel like there is a plan that is missing here. Anybody who's going to be even half serious about building a project will need to be on the paid plan. They don't even explain much of what you get in the free plan. So I'm guessing their free plan is really frivolous. So really they have 2 plans in a sense, the pro and enterprise. And companies like 11 Labs are allowing for price points up to $1,300 and they have up to 6 to 7 plans. So I think Lovable is probably shooting itself in the foot by not offering other plans here. All right. And the enterprise plan itself has very motherhood and apple pie type features like dedicated support, custom integration, and SSO. If you look at companies like Figma and their enterprise plan, they really understand what enterprises want and they craft the enterprise plan for that. So I can already state with some conviction that Lovable is leaving money on the table due to its lack of segmentation and package mapping. I don't think they're doing a great justice. They're probably creating more sales cycle where they don't have to. So I give them a 5 out of 10 on the packaging. On the pricing metric, their pricing metric is credits per month, all right? But it's not that well explained what a credit is. They say credit is sending messages in Lovable. You really then have to understand what a message is, and it needs to have a more fuller rate card of the credits and how credits will be used. I am also not a fan of rate limiting these credits per month into you get 100 and then you get 5 per day. In addition to that, it's not clear whether I can have overages. clearly stating overages for models for generative AI products like this that are essentially sold on a three-part tariff. Selling $25 per month up to 250 credit is a three-part tariff model, which necessarily involves having a overage fee. So pricing metric, I think, is par for the course. It's not that well explained, but they do not structure it well. And pricing metric, I will club those two decisions within that, and I will again give them about maybe 6 out of 10. As far as the price point is concerned, you have to look at it in a few different ways. Are they offering competitive price points? Probably we'll have to look at the other ones. But the price point critique I have is the same as the packaging critique. I am not seeing other price points. Now, had they had other plans, I could have critiqued those plans and have a different point of view on price points. But the problem is the plans themselves don't exist. So from your credit card, you can only pay for $25 a month. And again, I feel that they are leaving money on the table. So I will give them another 5 out of 10 for the price point. So that is my quick take on Lovable. Of course, as if I go deep into the product, I will learn more. But already I can see that there are many areas that they are leaving money on the table. Perhaps they're doing that because they're getting a lot of demand. So I am not saying that it's necessarily a bad strategy, but even with their current strategy, they should simplify their language, and they may not be suffering that much in terms of sales velocity and volume if they just even add one more plan here. So that is my critique on Lovable. Next, we are going to cover Bolt's pricing. So Bolt has 3 plans up front: a free, Pro, and Teams. Pro is $20 as you can see. Teams is $30 per month. And then they have yearly plans that give you a little bit of discount, which is expected. Now, let's look at other things that they're saying here. Here you can have public and private projects. In free, Bolt makes it clear how many credits you get per month and what is your daily limit. I like that they're actually serious about offering something in their free plan, as opposed to Lovable, where it was not really clear what is being offered there. On their Pro plan, you get public and private projects. You start at 10 million tokens. So while Lovable's pricing metric was credits, Bolt's pricing metric is tokens, right? And you can see how a buyer can be so confused. Like one person is saying 250 credits per month and the other person is saying 10 million. It's hard to keep this economy straight as a user. And they're saying, okay, no daily token limit, increase file upload limit. So I like that there is no daily token limit because that creates undue pressure. And I like the fact that unused token roll over to the next month. And then Teams is not that much more expensive compared to this. And then you get centralized billing and team level access management. And they also have an enterprise plan. And they also sort of paper over this thing saying dedicated support, SSO, private NPM registries, custom needs. All right. So in terms of their packages, they really have Pro, Teams, and Enterprise. I again have this critique for Bolt that they really don't know what enterprises need. They're saying anything that is more complex than me selling you Pro or Teams is Enterprise. I don't think that's a very great way to look at that, because it is possible that you could be having, given that you are such a high sales velocity company, there could be enterprises who would buy you right off the bat rather than wanting to have a conversation with you. Pro and Team, I don't see the feature differences as too much. Teams is really just Pro with team level access management. That's not a lot of feature differentiation, to be very honest. I would want to see much more feature differentiation. And where does feature differentiation come from? Feature differentiation comes from really understanding how teams will develop rather than individual users. And I'm not seeing enough granularity there. So in their packaging, I will give them a 6.5 or a 7 out of 10, just because they actually have an additional plan here, which I had wanted Lovable to have. In terms of their pricing metric, they're saying tokens. So let's see how clearly they explain what tokens are. AI tokens are complex topic related to all AI apps, not just Bolt. You can learn more about tokens here. For Bolt, it is important to know most token usage related to syncing your project's file system to the AI. The larger the project, the more tokens used per message. Our top priority is to increase the efficiency of token usage in Bolt. We continue to make improvements. All right. What are token limits? Okay. I like that they have used a metric that is used for LLM products as well. And that I do not have to do further thinking on tokens, and they have normalized these tokens to, let's say, what a Claude or what an OpenAI will charge. I really like that because helps me do less thinking as a user, and it's more focused inherently on pay as you go. So I will give them a higher rating just for that reason. Again, I'll give them a 7 out of 10 for the understanding of the pricing metric and the ability for unused tokens to be rolled over, which is important, which very few people do, by the way. Now, I do not see upfront. Perhaps it exists, but since I cannot see it, I will still critique this, that I do not see an overage. This is still, at the end of the day, a 3-part tariff, and I do not see an overage. So I will critique that. And then I do not see a different token limit for Teams as well. So Teams is really just an add-on basically to Pro, because it doesn't even have a different number of token limits. Therefore, my question is, what happens after this 10 million token limits? Can I buy more? Is there an overage chart you have? And what if I spend really a lot more? Do I get volume discounts? All of that needs to be addressed. Regardless, I will give them a 7 out of 10. As far as price point is concerned, again, there is not a lot of difference between $20 and $30. Proper Teams plans, if you're really thinking about the willingness to pay of what Teams have, Teams are probably going to have a much higher willingness to pay than $20 for like individual users. I can see that $30 probably justified because the features are not that well added, but I would want both an upgrade in the plan as well as the price point for for Bolt to make more money. That is my critique. So overall, roughly in the 7 by 10 range for all attributes. I think even Bolt is leaving some money on the table by having a badly designed team plan at a badly designed price point, and lack of understanding of what team or enterprise customers really need. Then they could be making much more money, but they're on a better thought process than Lovable is. Next, Cursor. So I actually, probably you have seen a video from me on Cursor, or you will see one on Cursor. Cursor has been a lot in the news, so I've seen their pricing page before. They have a few more plans, right? They have free, pro, ultra, and then they have a Teams plan and enterprise. All right, so across these three metrics, I really like that they have the ultra plan. I think this is what both Lovable and Bolt have been missing, and people do tend to use, serious developers tend to use this much, but serious need not be large companies like Disney who could be more in the enterprise section. So Cursor has solved the sales velocity problem by having a higher end plan, which is something I like. I will give them, just for that, 9 out of 10 on the packaging. However, pricing metric is completely unclear. If you look at their pricing page, extended limits, tab completions, background agents, limited agent requests, 20x usage. What usage? So I know that they have changed their model recently to API usage fees, but they don't even say what the usage fees is about. They don't even mention what the pricing metric is. And if I go into this more info tab, I will see things like requests, which is what they had before. So they don't talk about, they say $20 of usage per month. They don't talk about what this usage is. And then at some point they say token breakdown will be given in your dashboard. Well, I want to see it when I'm buying your product, before I buy it, not after I buy it. I will give them 2 out of 10 on their pricing metric, just because they don't make it clear. And then for Ultra, they say, I'm going to give you 20x usage on all models, but 20x of what? That's really not that great. And then finally, for the price point, I like that they have such a big delta between Pro and Teams. I like that they have thought a little bit more about what Teams want, and then they're charging appropriately. I like that. And I like that the Ultra plan exists. This is similar to what Claude is doing and similar to what OpenAI is doing, and there's lock-in step with that. So I will give them again maybe 8 out of 10 on the price points. So really where Cursor is struggling is an explanation of what their pricing metric is, what you get. And that's the reason for their recent pricing fiasco as well, for which I am making another video. Windsurf. Let's take a look at Windsurf. Okay, now we're going to take a look at Windsurf's pricing. Windsurf has essentially, outside of the free plan, three packages. They are on a per user per month model. Okay, it's per user per month, but really the pricing metric is credits per month, prompt credits. That is their metric. It's not per user. And then finally, price points. Okay, so let's take a look at this. Enterprise is, they have a good understanding of what enterprises need, based access control, SSO, and so on. And they even have thought about for organizations that have more than 200 users. I think that this section probably needs to be the true enterprise plan. The enterprise that they currently have is more like a Teams Plus, and they need a true enterprise one that they have through a conversation with customers, because there are some large customers that they will miss. And in a lot of companies like this, you make a lot more money from enterprise customers. Now, I understand that they have been acquired, but that doesn't change the fact that they're a running product and they could make more money that way, and they need to have a GTM motion. But I still like the fact that they have these 3 plans. I ideally want to see 4, and I want to see a true enterprise plan, because this one does not feel like a true enterprise plan to me. If you're saying I have admin and dashboards with analytics, centralized billing, priority support, I just think this is the true individual user plan, and the pro is more of a gateway plan to the individual users. That's actually how I see it. I see the enterprise plan more as a Teams plan. All right, they have something called prompt credits. So they're the third tool we've reviewed, and they have yet another different terminology. I can right up tell you that I like it because they have add-on credit overage fees, and just the existence of overage fee makes me really like their pricing metric. Okay, by the way, I did not rate their packaging. I'll rate their packaging maybe 7 out of 10. I'll rate their pricing metric. Let's see. Okay, I'm so happy that they have provided this. They have 500 credits per month. Teams have 500 credits per user per month, and add-on prices. What is prompt credit and how are they consumed? Prompt credit consumed whenever a message is sent to Cascade with a premium model. Every model has its own credit multiplier. The default message costing 1 credit, and the details can be seen here. Brilliant. I will give them 10 out of 10 on the pricing metric. I think they have done. It was not very hard for the other companies to provide this explanation as well as Windsurf has. So I will give them 10 out of 10 there. And then for the price point, I think because a plan is missing, I think the price points as is are fine. Of course, I do not know what the real willingness to pay is, but they are at least not cannibalizing each other. Because the enterprise plan is missing, that is the price point that they are missing in the market. So I'll probably give them 7 out of 10 for price point. But again, that missing true enterprise plan is going to cost them. So that was Windsurf. Awesome. Now we're going to take a look at Replit. Replit has essentially 3 plans: Replit Core, Teams, and Enterprise. And then they have this free plan. Then they have go live with deployment. So they have add-ons: auto scale deployments, reserved, VM deployments, scheduled deployments, static deployments. I'm liking this. I'm liking that there is a full table of what you get in different plans. So as far as let's look at what the enterprise plan is. SSO, SAML, advanced privacy controls, custom viewer seat, custom pricing, dedicated support. And Replit Teams has centralized billing, 50 user seats, role-based access control, private deployment, pay-as-you-go. Some of what Replit has in its Teams plan was in some other like bolts. I think we had seen Windsurf. Yes, Windsurf's enterprise plan, which actually is a Teams feature. So I think they have designed the plans well. They have better understanding of their customer segments, and they're sending customers requisitely to the enterprise tier. So I will give them good marks, like 9 out of 10 on the packaging. Pricing metrics, they have talking about usage credits and talking about credits here. Let's see if they explain what credits are. Going down, okay. I cannot see on their page what credits are, and this is not good. They're saying there's pay as you go for additional usage, which is nice. So they're saying that there is some sort of overage fee, but I really want to know the table. I really want a document for credits and how credits are going to be used. So that is a concern. They have posted fees for storage, for deployments. That is direct dollar fees, which is okay. But what about the credit consumption? They have put direct dollar fees here. So where are credits? Of course, credits are somewhere. Of course, you can find the answer. But just because it's not on the pricing page, that is not ideal. This is going to create confusion. It's going to reduce sales velocity. So maybe 5 out of 10 on the pricing metric. Finally, on price points, I'm going to tank them again on price points because almost Cursor has proven that there is going to be a case for a plan at the $200 mark. Claude Code is proving that. So I would want to see a plan like that in addition to this enterprise plan where you're charging that much, so that those customers are probably just going to be able to open their credit card and pay you. And because you don't have that price point, you're forcing all of these people to go to this custom conversations, and they may just pick a different tool and not work with you because of that. So I will give you less marks, maybe 3 out of 10 on the price point itself, just because you're missing something and you're actually leaving money on the table. Alright, so that was my thought on all of the 5 different players. Let's see what the final results are. Alright, so I have filled in the marks everyone got, and interestingly, Cursor has not performed that badly, but Windsurf is the leader at an 8 on average. I think what really came down to it is what Windsurf's pricing was well designed, structured, laid out, provided overage fees, everything was clear, and there was less confusion. And I think they still have an opportunity for making a lot more money and having another tier. But overall, at least you can change the weights and perhaps your answer will be different. But overall, they still have the best pricing strategy so far. Pricing strategy as inferred from the pricing page. I think Cursor, unfortunately, has done a really good job in other things. If they had only clearly explained their pricing metric, Cursor would have won. Cursor is winning in terms of revenue, so they're not going to lose any sleep over my ratings. And then Bolt, I really liked Bolt's consistently good performance. I do not like Lovable's performance at all. They're leaving money on the table. They're lacking clarity. I don't know why that is. I don't know why they're doing that. And I think Replit is doing a good job, but I think they can improve. They can definitely improve. And if they just add a little bit more clarity to their pages in terms for what they offer in the pricing metric, that would be also helpful. So thank you. That was the pricing showdown. The winner is Windsurf.